What's good, y'all? Jay Boogie in full effect mode. Bun down is the sound. You know how we do. This is, of course, the Lounge Presents podcast. And today in the Lounge Space, we are fortunate, we are blessed to welcome into the Lounge Space a filmmaker who has certainly carved a path for themselves in film. They like from their early beginnings, of which we're going to definitely deep dive into the lore up into her present day for one particular project that we're going to be discussing today, which is Bum Bum, the Sister Nancy story. And before I continue, can I just ask you something? Is it
Sure.
is it possible to say Bum Bum without saying it like that?
Bomb, bomb. You know what? For the longest time, I was saying bomb, bomb, bomb. Like bomb.
Right, right, right,
I
right.
don't even know. Like, the Jamaicans, I'm not Jamaican, but the Jamaicans will correct
Right.
you. So you
Yeah.
got to say it right,
Right,
Bomb,
right.
bomb.
Exactly. But that's just
Like
just as an aside.
bam, bam, not bam, bam. Bomb,
Just
bomb.
because from time literally from the first time I ever stepped foot in here in Winnipeg, there's a venerated institution of a venue called the Jamaican Association of
Mm.
Winnipeg, Jam
Wow.
Hall for short,
Wow.
right? And so when it's first, I mean, the first time I ever heard Bum Bum was there. So from that time until today, when I see those two words together, no matter what context, that's how I hear it in my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. And I get when I'm out on the road and I'm showing the films in
Mm,
community or in film festivals, or wherever, I get people to say it, the correct
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And it's always like everybody gets a kick out of that
Yeah.
and talks about it. But yeah,
There
it's
you go.
you have to say it right.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And you pointed it out not too long. The Jamaicans will correct you. Trust.
Yes. They will not be happy.
Yes. Respect to all the Jamaican brethren still.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, Sister Nancy story, Bum Bum. This is an incredible piece of work, and obviously your journey in film led up to this point in time. But what introduced you to film?
Oh, that I started maybe over 25 years ago. That was almost like fluke how it came to me. Um, I had a, pretty good friend who was in the film industry. And at the time I was writing about musicians because I used to write and had a little column in this music journal, and it was called The Sound, and I did Mic Check, and I did a couple other,
Okay.
magazines, magazine, but I would
Right.
always write about community or music.
Yep.
And my friend was just asking me like, hey, would you be interested in producing a music video for one of my friends who is a musician, right? And I said, well, I don't know what how do you produce a music video? I have no idea how to, do that. And he
Yeah.
just thought that I was responsible because I had a weekly column and I could get things done. So I thought maybe, hey, that's part of the film industry. So,
Yeah.
and my friend was Jeremy Hood. He's in the industry still. He's, an amazing line producer. And that song was Sean Nurse's "Can I Flow." That was my first music video, I think. That was,
Oh,
yeah.
damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, I remember that.
Yeah, way
Been a
back in
minute
the
since
day.
I've heard that title still, but
Yeah, and that was the first thing
oh,
I
yo.
produced, and I had no
Okay.
idea what I was doing, but I fell in love with it,
Yeah.
with the cameras and how it could capture, the essence of the person, especially singers,
Right.
and musicians. I love hanging out with musicians and singers and whatnot. So that was just a thrill to me. I was like, oh, I can do this for a living? Okay, I'll do this.
There you go.
but I was trained as a kinesiologist, had a master's degree in kinesiology, and
Okay.
I had so many other lives as a, athlete and a lot of different things I was into, but the filmmaking stuck, you know, the filmmaking stuck.
I would venture to say that it was likely always inside you. It was just looking for a way out.
Absolutely. When I was younger, I used to just walk around with this big imagination, just thinking about how things looked and, what does this mean? Always asking questions. I had a huge curiosity and I still do. And that drives a lot of my filmmaking. Like how does something work? How do you communicate ideas to people of how something works or what something looks like behind the scenes, that kind of thing. And
Right.
so um it's still with me, but I have a huge imagination and a huge curiosity about life and, why are we on this planet?
Ah, indeed.
Right.
That's the eternal question, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez. When you were growing up,
Mm.
what sort of films were you exposed to?
Well, the television was a big, you know, that was a big screen that took up a lot of our time,
Yep.
back in the day on
Yep.
Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, watching old movies. But when I remember as a teenager, being interested in all kinds of movies, like, Kung Fu to Alfred Hitchcock to, you know, we would go to the cinemas, just I think there was a cinema on Greenwood and Danforth that we used to go to and watch kung fu movies. And then obviously the blaxploitation movies, they would show them there at the same cinema. They just knew all the things that we wanted to watch as young people. And we would go there and stay up all night watching movies. We'd just go there in the morning and be there all until like late at night watching movies after movies. I'm just fascinated by storytelling, and sitting in a cinema or sitting anywhere and watching anything visual that just captivate you, captures your imagination and captivates you, um, just makes you not want to turn away from the screen, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I hear that. I hear that. Was there a pivotal film in particular that spoke to you and may have helped to awaken this gift that obviously was inside you, that might have been like the open door to you
Mm.
making the decision to start?
Well, a lot of films. There's so many films that I loved from before, but in terms of documentaries, I just remember the first documentary that I saw that was really something. Well, there's many. There was Hoop Dreams, Paris is
Hey.
Burning, and then Jennifer Hodge de Silva and uh, Claire Preto and Roger Matir's film. Um, I think Homecoming. Oh, The Struggle for a Black Community. It's a film about Jane and Finch. I just can't remember the full title, and I used to remember it so well. But that film was an amazing film that made me think about making documentaries and telling stories about my community, which I felt I wasn't really seeing all the
Right.
time,
Right.
or anywhere, unless it was an American film. So the Americans had a sense of like giving, or African Americans, being able to go into communities and tell stories about their life and whatnot. But that wasn't the regular thing in Canada. And so when I saw, I believe it's Home Feeling, the struggle of a community about Jane and Finch.
Mm.
That was just something. It just made me want to make a film like that. And I still remember the images from that film even to this day.
Do you remember the exact moment that you knew you were going to start shooting your first production?
Well, yeah, I spent years after my friend gave me a dare of, produce this music video for me.
Yeah.
After working in the music video, you know, I guess career field for 4.5 years, I knew I wanted to make a difference. I was seeing a lot of artists want to make music videos that were beyond the money that they could put into them.
Mm, yeah.
And
Budget.
there was such the budget, and I was seeing, and not to critique that, there's nothing wrong with that, but just seeing that there was so much struggle behind the scenes that people didn't know about,
Yeah.
how they were trying to put out music when there was no Canadian Black radio station. There
Yeah.
was, very few labels that would, uh, sign these artists or support or have big budgets to support them in the way that
Mhm.
some of the artists you see get supported in the United States and around the world. And so after being in that world for so long, I decided to maybe tell the story about that world. And one of my friends who is a writer, Vance Chapman, he was like, you know, you should do something on your brother's band. And I was like, my brother's band. And I really thought about it. I thought, "Oh, maybe that would be interested." I wasn't interested because he was my brother, right? I was like, "Why would I make a documentary about my brother's band, Citizen Kane?" And then I, hobbled my way to the NFB because the National Film Board of Canada, they're there to support, you know, people making films about the Canadian community,
Yes. Yep.
across, from west to from West Coast to East Coast, from north to south.
Mhm.
And so I went there seeing if they would be interested in this story because I was also, a fan of National Film Board films too. So I thought,
Right.
oh, I remember seeing their films in class, watching NFB films. Why don't I go there and see if they're interested in the story? And eventually they picked it up. They said, yes, we want to do this. But I didn't tell my brother. They said no, they didn't want to do it when I asked them. So I went to NFB, they said yes, and then I had to go back to my brother and I said, hey, we're making this film. And he goes, what are you talking about?
Okay, first off, you dropped a bomb. First off, you dropped a bomb.
Yeah.
Jay Spade is your brother?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, he's my brother.
Okay, that I did not realize. I Okay, so first off, shout
The
out,
great
respect,
Jay
salute,
Spade, the great
salute to
Jay
Jay
Spade.
Spade.
Yeah.
Citizen can represent. Don't know. Oh, what? Okay, I did not know that he was your brother.
He's my brother. So just to give context, my brother is a phenomenal hip hop artist, but
Yes,
he's
gifted.
a b-boy. He's like one of the original people in the culture that can do
Yes.
everything. He can rap, he can break dance, he can do the graffiti. He's like a visual artist that I was surrounded by his work all through, growing up together. And he can spin some records. He can do it all. He can do the four elements, and he also brings a fifth element, which is the spirituality or just the soul of hip hop. And he can teach, and he's just a remarkable human being. And so, so talented. So yes, he's in my family and a big inspiration for me.
I hearing you speak of your brother, it's dope to see and hear you speak of your brother because your pride is so obvious.
Oh, he does it all, and I just remember he was talented from very, very young.
Hmm.
And when he was 3, he was just drawing these amazing, you know, landscapes and people and figures and, like, superheroes, like, he could do it all. And, yeah, so I grew up in a household like that, and my mother my mother had the most beautiful voice of that I can remember, like, even to this day. She used to
Okay.
sing all the jazz classics in the house.
Okay. Okay.
So, I grew up in a very, I would say, you know, artistic, but cultural
Mhm.
home, you
Evidently,
know?
yes. That's quite obvious. Okay, it's starting to make a lot of sense. Okay, yeah. It's all tying together very
Right.
nicely, actually. We're obviously talking about the Raising Cane documentary. If you're not familiar with this, it's a great doc. Salute for that.
Yeah,
And
25th
it's an early
anniversary.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's an early doc too. Part of our canon now.
Yeah, my first documentary, and it's 25 years old now, and you can watch it, NFB just, they put it up on their website now. You can watch
Nice.
it again, it's available. It hadn't been available for over, I think, 15 years,
Yeah.
so it's available now, you can watch it, which is I feel so
Perfect.
proud because it's a part of my work, you know?
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. So is it safe to say that the family wasn't too surprised when they saw you take this path, full well knowing that, mom sings, bro also in the game. So there probably wasn't much surprise when you said, I'm gonna go make movies.
Well, yeah, you think that they wouldn't be surprised, but they were surprised because
Oh, they
you
were. Okay.
yeah, well, Jeff wasn't. Jeff was really supportive, but or
Right.
that's Jay Spade. But my mom, you know, we're talking about Caribbean people who,
Yes.
they might not know they'll watch a lot of television and movies, but they don't know
But
how
it
it gets made and
doesn't.
who's making it. I'm just saying my mom. So, even to this day, she would ask me, or when I was older, she would be like, "What do you do?" I still get that question, and
Yep.
it's kinda hilarious. Before it used to be, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing all this work you don't know," but that's just the way they are. They don't
Yeah.
understand
Yeah. Yeah.
this world.
Really, and it's I mean, and because you understand that you're not, no one catches feelings over that. No.
No, it's just the way it is. It's kind of funny. And even my mother, she's in Raising Cain, and she still doesn't
Mm.
understand. And I directed her. She still doesn't understand.
She thought it was
Um,
a whole movie.
yeah, everything's a home movie.
You bring up a very relatable
Yeah.
situation for all creatives, all artists,
Mm,
especially if you come from a background where, you come from a more of a cultural background, if I'm
mm,
saying that right. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying. We all know what
yeah.
I'm saying. I don't have to. If you grow up around, deep familial cultural ties, yeah, they're not going to understand you want, going on this path of filmmaking or music
Mhm.
or yeah, any creative arts, really. It's like, well, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, how do
So,
you make a living? I think they're
yeah,
really concerned about how do you make a living,
exactly.
and they're probably more, used to people if you're a storyteller and wanted to tell stories, that
Mhm.
you would write a book
Right.
or do something like that. They
Yeah.
weren't really familiar with you going out and making movies because that's what people did in Hollywood too,
Yeah.
right? There's that
Yep.
Hollywood, divide, people expected that from people in the States, not Canadians making movies. And then now look at us. Now look at
Exactly.
Canadian movies and
Exactly.
Canadian television.
You can't sleep on us now.
No,
You cannot sleep on Canadian. Oh, you never could, but now it's more. Oh, in everyone's face. Yeah, do not sleep on Canadian talent.
no, you can't.
No, no, you definitely can't. You first came up with the idea for Bam Bam. How? What was the origin story of that doc?
Yeah, so if when you look at the documentary, you'll see that Sister Nancy has a number of different promoters and DJs that work with her around the world. Well,
Hmm.
she has a DJ that's her longtime friend, and his name is Mossman, and he's Canadian. Grew up in Montreal, went to Vancouver. Anyways, when he was in Toronto, he just called me up, and then came over to the office and started pitching this idea of doing a documentary about a great dance hall artist.
Okay.
And, I was
Pitch.
like, "Yeah, it sounds interesting," and then he told me who it was, and I was like, "Is she still alive?" Like, I didn't know she was still
Oh,
alive, um, because, of course, I was a huge fan of her music, and I'm of the age
yeah.
when her music was dropping in the basement parties in Scarborough,
Mm,
that we used to
mm.
go to all the time, and, I didn't know she was alive, and then we definitely connected, on the phone after that, and we hit it off, and that's how it came to be. It was just like that. I was working late one night, and I got a phone call, and the rest is history.
Wow. Dope pitch. Nah, I feel like if I was, I'd probably jump at that opportunity quick fast too.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I was like, oh, I haven't made a music doc. Just like I've made a couple things that were, connected to music, like Paid in Full, the Battle for Black Music, a three-part
Yep.
series,
Yep.
that was co-produced with Catalyst and with Idris Elba's company, Green Door Pictures. I
Right.
just did that maybe, in the either before right before this, and then this, it was just I don't know, it was just one of those things that aligned. Sometimes you just don't know what's gonna happen in your career. Things come to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to
Mm-hmm.
decide, are you gonna do it? And if you do it, you better do it your best. That's what I try
Yeah.
to do every single time when I say yes to a project. I try to just, okay, how am I gonna do it? Yes. Okay, how am I gonna do it? That's the next thing. And then, okay, how do I cultivate the energy so that I can just make the best possible film as possible, do the best job as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I think that the art of filmmaking is incredibly uh, slept on. And by slept on, I mean
Mm,
people watch and think, oh, this, I can say this and this about this. I can make all the critiques about this and this,
mm,
even though I've never made one, full length or short in my life.
mm.
I feel like I'd be able, that armchair quarterbacking of I could, I know how this could have been done better, but the struggle, and I mean the struggle of putting together a film before you even get into production is
Yeah, you gotta raise the money for it. You gotta,
hmm
put the pieces together. You have to be able to communicate the vision of the film
exactly.
to different investors, to whoever you're following and who you want to be in this film. You have to explain all of that, and you have to make a plan of how you're gonna actually shoot this thing. And then you gotta after you finish filming, how to put it together if things change on the road. But then in between, you're hiring all these people to work with you and be your collaborators on it. So there's so many decisions that goes into making a film, uh, that, you know, I've done it a couple times, so maybe I don't reflect on the process, but it is a process. And I feel like the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with that process. But for documentaries, you just don't know what's gonna happen, really. You just don't know what you're gonna be thrown
Exactly.
with, right? So keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can relate to that. What I really enjoyed about Bum Bum was that the portrayal of Sister Nancy was one of someone who was very grounded,
Mm,
someone who was very grounded, who took life as it came, even when she was getting robbed blind.
yeah.
She took life as it came, she rode the waves the way we're all kind of supposed to, but when you're a creative, when you're an artist, those waves sometimes can be incredibly taxing emotionally
Yeah.
and mentally.
Mm.
And the inner metal that's required for you to be able to surf those waves, not everyone has. But I love how you were able to show how grounded she's able to maintain herself
Mhm.
throughout all of this.
Mhm. Yeah, Jay, I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things that, uh, it definitely struck me really early on her disposition. Obviously,
Mm.
she's a spicy character,
Yeah.
but beneath it all, there's a grace to her. She just knows to just live life, You can that's
Yeah.
all you can do. You can get up every single
Yes.
day and live life and not get so, you know, thrown by, who did this to you or who you thought did, took something from you. There's a lot of things you don't have control over until you have control. So what do you do in the meantime? You live life.
That's the exact message that I took away from this film.
Mm, wow.
That it right there, because even with all the facts, and if you're a music nerd, you're reveling in all the facts.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So you actually you're leaving with a lot. You definitely are. Your toolkit is packed.
mm.
But the one overarching feeling you get walking away from watching this is that you can only handle what you can handle. Life is going to life regardless, but you have to just keep on, because that's literally your only choice. It's literally all you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And she does it with such joy. You see her on
Yes.
stage, you see her in
Yes.
there every day. It's just I just marvel at, her zest for life and how, um, especially when she's on stage, she just gives it her all.
Yes. Yes.
She's just free with it.
Yeah.
She doesn't do sound check ever.
What?
She just when they book her for a show, there's no sound check. She just takes the mic. She
That's
goes on stage, she
crazy.
takes the mic and she goes. And, if the sound isn't right, she's yelling at the DJ and the sound tech. That's part of her thing. She's basically trying to give you an experience of what it's like at a dance hall back in the day, where again,
I
you
get
just
it.
didn't know what
Yeah,
you were gonna get.
it's true.
So you
It's true.
made the best of every situation and you just learned to be a, what do you want to call it? A show person. I want to say showman, but a showwoman.
Yeah.
You learned that, and part of that was yelling at the DJ, the
Yeah.
sound man, the this, the that, whatever, and coming on, and maybe somebody says something to you backstage, and you cuss them out there same time, and if the people are not dancing, you talk to them and you wonder why, or you tell them about their life that day or what's going on in the community. It was about that. And there's something magical about being an artist, a musician, um, someone who performs in front of people and having that skill just to be in the moment. She's very much in the moment. And we live in such a time where when you look at celebrity and most people, I would
Mm.
say the average person out there, people doing podcasts, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be aligned, before they do anything. Um, and she just says, "Okay, this is the situation. I'm just gonna just be me, and not. It doesn't have to be perfect every single time, and it can be as raw as anything. But for her, that's perfection. Being able to live in the moment and just that's for me, that's what I was trying that was the story I was trying to tell, like, that was my A story, but, um, not in your face. I just wanted to tell that story.
Oh yeah, felt it completely. Felt it completely, and I really love that about it. Well, I was really really impressed as well with as because I mean, again, if we're gonna look at it from the music nerd side of things, she's royalty.
Yeah.
I am not exaggerating, and I know you know what I'm talking about. She's royalty. She could have the ego of like a million, like, A-listers, and I'd be like, it's deserved. But I don't sense at all. Does she grasp? Does she grasp that she is forever and ever etched in the canon of music, forever and ever and ever? Her place in history is set.
I think of course she knows, but she kind of maybe she knows or she knew that, but she I won't say she didn't believe it, but she didn't really see the totality of it, the grandness of it, you
Mm,
know?
yeah.
And so I just remember when I was finishing the film, we were reaching out to her to see if she wanted to watch it before our world premiere at Tribeca, at the Tribeca
Right.
Film Festival. And she said, "No, I wanna watch it with an audience." And of course,
Nice.
that was just like
Yes.
but that was yeah, nice, but I was like, I was so nervous
Of course.
because I was like, you know, Sister Nancy, if she doesn't like something, she's gonna tell you.
She goes,
She'll tell you in
yeah.
front of everyone. She'll get on stage and tell everybody that she didn't like the film, by the way, and she's just performing after the film. But by the way, she didn't like it. So, so I was really nervous about that, but that's another thing about living in the moment. She didn't have to be, she didn't want to feel like she's being pleased by the film. But when she saw the film,
Mm,
I think that took her back because of who was in it and what they were saying about her,
yeah.
but also hearing how they were inspired by her music. I think that part, that piece, how her music touched them in a way, not just to make the music and sample, but how it made them feel.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want, I would say, as an artist or a musician, right? You want to make music that touches people and make them feel a certain way. So, and I know she told me, like people say that to her all the time, but just to see it in the grandness of the film, I think that was something for her. Yeah, it was a moment.
I'm glad because she deserves to know how venerated her position is in the music canon.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
and it won't change. Like that's it. Like it's
Nope.
just
It's etched in stone. And I definitely want to salute you, Allison, because if it isn't already obvious, loved the doc, loved what I loved how you told the story. I love the story that you told, and aesthetically is beautiful.
Aw.
Everything was rich and golden. You know what I mean? You took us into the scenes. We didn't feel. Oh, I should speak for myself. I didn't ever once feel like I was watching. I felt like I was there with you,
Oh,
and
thank you.
that's dope. And when you're able to do that, that's dope.
Oh, thank you so much.
And obviously, I'm not the only one that felt the same way, Allison. 6 nominations,
Six,
Canadian
six,
Screen
six.
Awards.
8. 8.
8. I just about shortchanged you. God,
It's
8
okay.
nominations, Allison.
Yes.
You have obviously reached into the souls of many,
Oh,
because that type of impact is what gets you those 8 nominations, because you were able to tell that story and bring people in to those scenes where they didn't feel like they were in the audience, and you were able to give us a portrayal, an honest portrayal of someone who has figured it out.
yeah. That I feel was such the mission for me. because she inspires so many people, and and so we had that, but then she's sort of like a warts and all person, like the anti-celebrity, where,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, she doesn't care. She didn't want me to do like 2 or 3 takes or multiple takes on anything she was doing. I had to do all of her shooting in 1 take.
All one take.
Yeah, everything had to be, I couldn't ask her to do anything again, say anything again, and she told me, like, when on our
Wow.
first day of shooting that I couldn't, I wanted her to do something, like walk through an area again, the same, like, because my cinematographer was saying, could she just walk through this area again? I didn't quite catch her all the way. And I, I asked her,
And
can you do
she's
that again? And she was like, no. And she told me, if we're going to do this documentary, I have to catch her as she is.
oh, I love
So
that. Dang.
that was the challenge, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make this film? Because
for
for
sure.
many years you get, making docs, you're used to setting everything up and taking
Yeah.
multiple takes and all. That's
Yeah.
just the way it is now,
Yeah.
right? But it was a challenge just
One
be
take.
free, be free with her. And it paid off,
Oh yeah.
it just became magical in the film.
Oh, it definitely
And
paid off.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Now with the obvious success of this film, have you considered doing more screenings?
Yeah, we do have some screenings coming up.
Okay.
It's been out for this film has been touring for
A couple
a
years.
year and a half,
Yeah.
2, yeah, almost 2 years. It's going to be
Yeah.
2 years in June. And it's just been, it keeps on going. So we get
As it should.
multiple screenings every month, different parts of the world. I still get calls like people from UK, hey, when is it coming to the UK? And I said, it's already been there 5 times. Or, yeah, it's changed. When is it coming back to New York? It's been there like 4 times. It's like, I tell them, and they're like, really? How did I miss that? So there's pockets of people it still has to reach, even
Of
in the same
course.
city.
Well, and
Yeah,
the best part of it now is that, I mean, with social media and
yeah.
with people being accustomed to content being reused, promoting older projects. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And I don't believe it ever screened in Winnipeg. If I'm mistaken, please correct me.
I have a feeling it did.
It did.
I wanna say it did last February, last year, February, but I could
Last
be wrong.
February.
I'll check.
Okay.
I think it was at the Cineplex, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe for, like, a couple days, maybe for, like, 4
Mm.
days or the weekend or something.
Well, we should bring it back.
You definitely should bring it back.
I'm actually being legitimately serious. I think we should bring it back.
You should definitely bring it back because, watching it with an audience on the big screen,
Yes.
and it could be in a cinema, but it could be in a smaller cinema, it could be, somewhere, but anyways, just watching it together is so much fun. It's such
Yeah.
a fun doc.
It's meant to be watched with other people for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you have a chance or opportunity to do it, yeah, bring it back.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to look into that because I think that this film deserves to be seen as many times as possible. You did such a dope job on this.
Oh, thank you
Salute.
so much.
Nah, for
Aw.
real. I got to give it up to you one time. Okay.
I love it. You'll hear that sound in the doc too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely will. You most definitely will. Now the awards are in May, I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, end of May.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to be cheering for Bum Bum because whatever flowers come your way, you surely deserve, Allison.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay. I'm
Respect.
overwhelmed because, you know, and just getting back to like the 8 nominations, there was so many people that worked on this project that were just amazing. My cinematographer, Lucas Joseph, he was a great, great talent on this. And the awards we got so many nominations, different people working on it. Eugene Weiss, my editor, Orrin Isaacs, the composer. Can you imagine having to be the composer on this film?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have to make music that goes with her music that
Yes.
doesn't interrupt with the flow of the film. It was
Exactly.
it was like, wow, I'm asking Orrin to create something that doesn't intrude but supports the storytelling. And he did such a fabulous job.
He knew the assignment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He
You
knew the
know,
assignment.
Michelle Irving, our sound mixer, like everything is mixed in that film. We're mixing it like if it's an album.
Yeah.
The soundscape in this film is
Yeah.
just, oh my gosh, every sound, every second of sound was mixed. Nothing was looked over. Michelle Irving and her team, Derek Bryn was in there, and then our visual researchers, and our music, researcher Amy Fritz, who had to do all the clearances, from Jay-Z to
Yeah.
Janelle Monáe to the song itself and all the samples. Everything had to be cleared, and she had a really big job on her hands, and she did such a tremendous job. But the 8 nominations is spread across the team, and my producing partner, Gaddy Conte George, is my business partner. She was so supportive in this filmmaking, and there's so many things that a producer does behind the scenes that they rarely get any credit for. And thank goodness that I had her as my partner on this, my producing partner on it. But yeah, the 8 nominations is about the team, this superstar team that we put together, and who worked their buns off to make sure that this film did what it did, because they were also so inspired by Sister Nancy as a creative person.
It makes it easy though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you're inspired by your subject.
Yeah. It's better. It's better. It makes it better.
Well put. Well put. Well, Alison, I would really like to thank you for spending time with us in the lounge space. I definitely want to big you up because Bum Bum, the Sister Nancy story, is flames. Highly recommend it. Before we let you go, I've gotta. I'm not gonna. We're not dropping any spoilers, but there is something at the end where you do kind of are left wondering. So when that if and hopefully
no news on that yet.
Okay. Because I feel like when that does happen, because we're going to manifest it into the universe, when that does happen, I certainly hope you were there to capture that moment.
Me too. Me too. That would be great.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Alison, thank you again.
Well, thank you, Jay Boogie.
Most definitely.
Great.
It's been great having you. And please, I want you to know that we have an open door for you to return anytime. More than happy to help you tell the story about the next project. And I believe we've got a couple of projects coming up.
Yeah, we're in post now with Gaddy Conte George's my business partner, her film This Land of Ours. We're in post right now, very close, and we happen to work on season 2 of For the Culture with Amanda Paris. So that's out on CBC Gem and also YouTube, and there's just a lot more to come.
Love it. When the one that you're currently finishing up, whenever that is ready to roll out, please come back. I want to talk about it.
I think Gaddy would love that too, because it's a fascinating story. I won't get into it now, but it's just
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. We'll definitely get both of you in.
All right. Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you again, Alison. And if you haven't already checked out Bum Bum, the Sister Nancy story, it is on Crave.
It's on Crave. And if you have any listeners around the world, they can check it out on Kinema with a K.
Yes, Kinema. Yeah. That's correct.
Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, because I'm sure I'm not going to be the only person who has an interest. If they want to arrange to book and promote a screening in their market, how does one go about reaching the right contact?
You can book it through Kinema. That's what it's for.
Okay,
It's also, you can host a
perfect.
screening, or you can rent it if you're outside of
Oh,
Canada. But you can
there
host
you
a
go.
screening inside of Canada. if you
Look
want.
at that. Make it easy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Solid. Alison, thank you again.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care,
Take care.
everyone. All right. Bye.